Hey guys, Miss Marcus here, and as you can see, I'm just checking the free player agents in the Master League just before I actually started this episode. And again, this episode is going to be 3 matches for you instead of the normal 2, because Master League is a bit different, and sort of stuff like that is just basically a little bit slower rather than playing online, where there's just so many more goals and so much more frantic gameplay to actually show. So, as you can see here, I was looking through who's basically what is when people's stuff was running out, when the contracts were running out, and they basically run out in terms of in January. So the likes of Alsacer from the Valencia player, as long as Max Meyer and what's his name, Adrian Rabiot, the PSG player, they all ran out. So I actually went for it, and I was trying to sign them now, but unfortunately I couldn't get them in. So they'll come in January, which will be pretty good for me. And as you can see here, I actually changed the name of the stadium. So for good thing for Atlético Madrid and all that sort of stuff, we're actually playing at the Vicente Calderón, and actually changed it for every single team in the Liga BBVA in terms of just from their default side. So of course the likes of Zaragoza, I think, are the only one who don't have it, which is unfortunate because I didn't notice that when I was actually playing this, which is a bit disappointing, but it's the only disappointment you can get. I basically try and make it as authentic as possible. So of course in this game again today, we face against Rayo Vallecano in the first game. That's a pretty good strike in the first couple minutes of the match, and as Fernando Torres on the ball here, plays it in, Thiago gets a header down, and it's actually not a good save from the keeper. Thiago was actually pretty good playing that attacking midfielder. It was really weird, him playing an attacking midfield, considering that he's like a defensive midfielder. But first minutes of the match, 9-0 here on the ball, plays it into Fernando Torres. Torres did a little back heel to Christian Rodriguez, but it comes to nothing because he was offside. And of course I was resting quite a lot of players in this match because of the fact we had a Champions League match as the next tech match in this episode. And as you see here, Gael Kaku on the ball gets a good strike away, and Moya actually makes a pretty decent save. Of course I was resting Oblak as well. So as you can see, at half time it was 0-0, and this game was absolutely boring, and it didn't get any better than that. As you can see there, the shot stats do sort of say there was a lot happening, but in reality there was literally nothing. Because I mean, I showed you one shot from them, I showed you 2 shots on target from me, and in the second half there was only one more shot on target. So a 0-0 draw in the first game of this third game of the season, first game of this episode, which is just really poor. But again, I forgot to show you who's actually in my group for the Champions League. The teams are Arsenal, Bersing, I've never heard of, I probably think they're a fake team, and Schalke, who are the goddamn semi-finalists from last year, because you know I beat them with Southampton, which was quite hard to do. So interesting to see. But I've sort of noticed that when I'm playing for Atlético Madrid, I have to sort of focus a lot more on attacking down the left hand side, when I'm used to now using with the every other team I usually attack down the right hand side. That's a lie, I usually attack down the left hand side, but whenever I play Master League I like to attack down the right hand side when I know there's a player who can cut inside to his stronger dominant foot. So for example, whenever I play with my club, I usually play with a good player on the left hand side who can cut inside. Or as you can see now in the later my club videos, whenever I get a good player on the right hand side, I can cut inside with him. So it's interesting because I mean, with Southampton I always used to cut in with J Rodriguez on his right foot, just to ping it in top left, on the top right on the left hand side, which is always good to see. But as you can see here in this Champions League episode, or Champions League match, we ended up playing Fedako at right back, which was a really bad idea because he was going up against Mesut Ozil, and Fedako is absolutely horrendous. But one thing I have to say which is quite good with Atlético Madrid is a lot of their players have real faces, which is always good to see. But look at that Arsenal team, how Gary Cahill, Rafael Varane, Phil Jones, David Alaba, Wilshere, Ozil, Walcott, Herrera, Chamberlain, and for some ridiculous reason they have Lucas Podolski up front. Now I'm not slagging Lucas Podolski, but you think it with an amazing backline like that, they'd probably just go out and sign a really goddamn good striker. But well, I'm not the manager. I could have been the manager, but I decided against it for some reason, because why stay in England when I can move abroad? But anyway, like I was saying, it's just a bit weird that I'm used to playing down a right hand side, but in this particular game I did dominate with Antoine Griezmann up against Phil Jones. As you see in the first minutes of the match here, Griezmann gets a strike away. It's a pretty decent strike, but it comes to nothing. As you see here, basically Andrei Pierre-Gignac is just so goddamn good on the edge of that box as he pops it in the back of the net for his first goal in the Atlético Madrid colours, which is pretty decent. As you see here in the 23rd minute, Correa gets his head on the ball, and he unfortunately just heads it wide after a really good cross from Antoine Griezmann. And coming up to the half-time mark, as we see here, Griezmann on the ball, plays it into Gignac. Gignac waits for Griezmann to make the run. He makes the run, he's through on goal, And unfortunately for me, I just cannot get Griezmann to be a little bit quicker than he needs to be, and Szczęsny just comes out and picks it up as you'd expect. So at half-time it was 1-0, a pretty decent game so far against Arsenal, who are one of those harder sides in the league. Of course, they actually won the league last season when I was at Southampton, so it's always good to see one of those sort of teams, of course a team I support as well. But as you see in the 47th minute of the match here, Podolski for a goal. Podolski just never misses as he does sort of in real life, and he just pops in the back of the net to equalise basically from the half-time kickoff, which was just ridiculous goal to concede, but it was just a ridiculous finish. There was nothing I could do about it. But in the 58th minute of the match here, Cersei on the ball, Churchy on the ball actually, plays in Zizniak. Zizniak gets a strike away, and it's a pretty decent save from the goalkeeper. But as we see here in the 60th minute, basically from the resulting corner kick, Correa gets the ball, gets a strike away, another good save from Szczęsny, and Gary Cahill this time should have cleared the ball, but for some reason he just basically messes up completely and gives the ball straight to Andrei Pierre-Zizniak, who pops in the back of the net for his second goal of the game to give us a 2-1 lead, and that 2-1 lead stuck. As we see here, final score 2-1, a pretty good result against a really hard side in the Champions League in our first game in the Champions League. So it's always good to see as well. So as you see there, we sort of dominated the game as well. 9 shots, 5 on target. They dominated possession, we dominated shots, and Zizniak got the man of the match. But as you see there, Schalke also beat Brescia, or whoever the hell they're called. I don't actually know how to even pronounce that. Is it Brescia? I don't even know if they're even real. So us and Schalke are the top 2 in Group D. And as we go into the last match of this episode, it is against Eibar. And Eibar, I have no clue where that actually is in Spain, because I've never actually been to Spain. But as you can see here, I sort of played with a different sort of team this time. I played Gabi as well as Raul Garcia, as well as Fernando Torres up front, with Arda Turan playing right wing forward and Griezmann playing left wing forward. Griezmann basically is going to try and play every single one of my matches. But basically from the Epuria, we faced off against Eibar, and Eibar are a pretty decent side, but they're not that good. Like, they're not even a pretty decent side, to be honest. Like, that's quite hard. That's actually really, like, giving them a little bit too much confidence. They're really not that good a side. They're relatively mediocre, which is a bit harsh to say as well, but I really struggled against them, like properly struggled against them for a while before, you know, the inevitable happened. But as you can see here, they kicked off, of course, as you'd expect, and they passed the ball about a bit confidently in the beginning. As you see here in the first minutes of the match, they actually try and attack on this left hand side, get the ball to Nieto. Nieto runs inside, gives it to Bruno Angel. Bruno Angel ends up getting a strike away, and he actually scores from their first shot on target. So, yeah, confident. Yeah, confident. They got a 1-0 lead, which is just goddamn ridiculous. But as you see here in the 10th minute of the match, get the ball with Arda Turan down his right hand side. He eventually gives the ball to no one. He just continues to run, and he ends up crossing it in to the big beast that is Fernando Torres, and he heads it into the ground and into the back of the net to give us a 1-0, basically equalise in the 10th minute, in like the 12th minute of the match, which is pretty decent from Fernando Torres. But we come all the way up to the half-time mark. As we see here, Jimenez go flying in with a tackle, and it comes to nothing. And they basically try and play the ball on the right-hand side. It's really unlucky, unfortunately, actually, for them that the referee blows the whistle, or else they would just have been away, as you would expect. But unfortunately for them, he blew the whistle. But the game was so boring, as you see there. 2 shots, 1 on target from me, 1 shot, 1 on target from them. And we go all the way up to the 76th minute of the match, as we see Raul Garcia on the ball, runs past one player, well, runs past 2 players actually, gets a strike away, and it's a pretty decent strike, but unfortunately for me, it's just wide of the post. And going all the way up into the 89th minute of the match, as we see Jimenez try and get the ball with Bruno Angel, comes to nothing, tries to get the ball with Piccoli. He ends up playing the ball back to Piccoli, and Piccoli ends up chipping Oblak, who'd come running out. I didn't actually make him run out, he just ran out because he was an absolute fool. I skipped the replay because I was absolutely I was just horrified. And having brought Zizniak on as the striker, get the ball with Raul Garcia here, give it into Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann takes 1 touch, and he pops in the back of the net, literally with no kicks left in the game, to equalise. So I really need to get used to playing Griezmann more, or else I'm really going to lose all my games. That's basically what I have to say. As you see here, we sort of dominated in the second half. We got a lot more shots off on goal, but Bruno Rangel got man of match. I really probably should have beat Eibar, or, you know, like I really should have. Barcelona won 1-0 as expected. Real Madrid won, and Real Madrid are now top of the table. So if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.